Hello, everyone. I am excited to say that we had an amazing time at the C-Suite Leadership Retreat at the Oberoi in Marrakech, Morocco. You know what? The treatment was beyond 5-star. The feedback is just amazing. The content of the discussions, paradigm shifted. Just 2 days, right? And it's been an amazing time of pulling away for C-suite leaders and founders and CEOs. And everybody is going home with a paradigm shift, with new ideas to execute. So I would like to say a big thank you to everyone who's been a part of our C-Suite Leadership Retreat 2024. And it's my pleasure to announce from the 8th to the 11th of July, 2025, we'll be having the C-Suite Retreat in Dubai. Everyone who attended this year is signing up to come next year. Some of the people who were not here are already signing up to be there. Our numbers must remain small. So my encouragement, sign up right away. Go on my Linktree and just find the link and sign up right away, because we are so sure that in a very short time, all the slots that we have will be taken. So I look forward to seeing you in Dubai in 2025 to your success.
The C-Suite retreat is amazing. I mean, it's just mind-blowing. The high level of excellence, the first-class treatment is exceptional.
It's been so wonderful. It was strategic.
Every session has been powerful, and I will definitely come back next year.
My experience was great.
It was amazing, transformative.
I was blown away by the speakers.
Excellence, content was really powerful.
This was a world-class conference. I will be here for Shift 2026.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Sam Adeyemi.
That point where you make up your mind is where your life changes. That's where a poor man becomes a rich man. That's where failure changes to success. It is your decision, not your condition, that determines your destiny.
Success is a journey, it's not a destination. The mistake too many people make is to say, I have arrived. No, you need to stay on entrepreneurial shift.
You have to have a huge desire for the thing that you really want. So if that means you have to spend 40, 60, 80 hours a week to get there, that's a burning desire. Who has a burning desire to build wealth today?
Sometimes you won't have all the answers. Neither do the men. 50% of our population cannot be sitting back. God bless you.
Get up, ladies. Get up, men. Get up, children. Get up and run with the light that you have.
In life, if you don't move, words without action is nothing. So when you told your neighbor shift, did you shift? In this book, you will find out that to make changes can be very uncomfortable, but when you start, it gets easier.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us on our Leadership Live this evening. My apologies for our late start. Just some technical hitches. Yes. So, how's it been with you? Yes, the last 2 weeks we had recorded messages from me because I was on break, right? I was on break. And last week I did explain the power in taking breaks, right? How I discovered it's a very powerful principle that leaders need to adopt. So yes, thank you for joining us. As usual, this is a global community. Can you let us know the city and country you're joining us from? Well, we'll be jumping into our discussion straight away, right? Well, thank you, everyone. Okay, so just for the benefit of those who are joining us for the first time, this is a global community, right? And it's a leadership community. And we have to agree on the definition of leadership for a start. A lot of people will not show up when the discussion is about leadership because they believe that it is the people at the top anywhere that are leaders, right? Especially the people in government. Those are our leaders, right? However, for us here on this platform, in our community, leadership is the ability to influence one or more people to achieve goals. And once we define it as influence, then all of us have it. All of us have the capacity to lead. Good. Let's start, right? Use your influence. If you've never used it, test it right now. Share the link for this discussion with someone right now. See, you never know. You never know who's going to be the head of government or the head of business somewhere or the head of a family somewhere. And this could be the greatest investment you would make into their lives. I share the story always about how someone gave me a book. An elderly reverend gentleman at our church some 35 years ago gave me a book. He said, there's something about you. Read this book. And it was the first book I would read on leadership. It was a good investment, don't you think? Yep. So right now, please share the link with someone. It may be a specific person. It may just be to everyone who's following you on your platform. And let's bring them into this discussion, okay? Thank you. Oh yeah, I can see it here. KK reposted this stream. Thank you, right? Thank you for joining us on various platforms, X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Thank you. I hope your day has been great. Yes. So thank you, Philip from Lafayette, Nasarawa State in Nigeria, and Bamidele from Surulere, Peter from Nigeria, Grace from Delta State, Bright Alozie from Cote d'Ivoire, Joy from Lagos, Danis from Nigeria, Onyekachi from Benin City, Omojesu Alfred from Port Harcourt, Precious from Delta State, Kende from Ekiti, Ayodele from Winnipeg, Canada. Awesome. Chris from Ibadan. Thank you, Pastor Tim Baker. Always here. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you for your prayer. Say big amen to that. Thank you. Olubenga Wealth. Thank you for being here again. Stephen Bakare. Thank you for joining us again. Amazing. Adeyemi from Kogi State. That's my state. Thank you. And everyone else, thank you so much. Okay, so we don't really have that much time today, right? Thank you, Adewale from Ibadan. Yes, Onyedikachi from Abuja. It's your first time. Thank you for joining us. Everyone who is here for the first time, thank you. Dr. Laleko from Toronto, Canada, and Will Best from Cameroon. That's it. Okay, so it's a global community, right? People are joining from the UK, from everywhere. So Today, we've been discussing about the qualities, right? We've been discussing the qualities of a leader, right? We've been discussing the qualities of a leader. And today I want us to discuss a very important one, resilience. Resilience, okay? Okay, before we get into the discussion. So the next several weeks are going to be really exciting for us, right? In our community. Yeah, the next several weeks are going to be really, I am particularly excited, right? I am excited. I'm excited because on Saturday, the 13th of September, we're going to be in the DMV area in Maryland, big time. It's the Shift Leadership Conference USA. We're having only 2 Shift events, only 2 Shift conferences this year. The first one was in Lagos, Nigeria in February. And the only other one is this one, holding, yes, at Maryland, the College Park Marriott, Hyattsville, Maryland. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going, if you've gotten any glimpse of what happened in Lagos, this is going to be super amazing. Okay. You know, the big question I really like to ask people all the time is, how strategic are you? In other words, to what extent do you have the capacity to recognize opportunities, to recognize what we call leverage, right? When I read The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Harcovey, he wrote there that effective people, highly effective people, understand the laws of the farm and they align their lives with those laws, the laws of the farm. Those laws never fail. They're the same. They are the same from generation to generation. They are the same. Or should I say the basic one, the law of sowing and reaping. The law of sowing and reaping. So what does that law tell you in terms of its application? Whatever you want is a harvest. Sow the seed for it. And then there is time lapse between the seed time and the harvest time. The organizations that I had today, we planted like at the Shift Conference, Lagos, we were celebrating the 30th anniversary, right? We were celebrating the 30th anniversary of Success Power International, right? Because I went on radio 30 years ago. So today I have influence, right? With a whole generation and the generation after that, because they were hearing me on radio and watching me on TV. That was some massive seed sowing because hundreds of thousands of people, probably millions, were listening to me, right? It took a lot of effort. I had to get financial support from people to be able to do it. But the rest, like they say, is history. So this is what I'm saying, right? Information is seed for the human soul. Information is seed for the human soul. Whatever you want your life to produce in the future, maybe near, maybe far, one of the major things you've got to do first is to sow the seed for that life into your heart and into your soul and into your mind. Yes. So if someone wants to be prosperous financially, what would they do? Attend conferences on finances. You read books on finances, right? So pay attention to those attending this leadership live. Pay attention to those attending our Shift conferences. Pay attention to those attending our other programs. Why? We are creating 5 years' time, 10 years' time already. Yeah, it's happening already. The future is in the present already. Should I explain that? The corn that you will eat in 20 years' time is inside the ones that we have now. The only way you will not have corn to eat in 20 years' time is for us to eat all the corn that we have in the world now. But as long as we have the wisdom to keep some, right? Keep part of the harvest and turn it into seed and plant it, we're going to have, right, fresh corn to eat next year and the year after and the year after. When you show up at a leadership conference, it says a lot about your vision. It says a lot about where you're going in life. Yeah. So for us in this community, that's why we're having the conference, the Shift Conference USA, massive seed sowing. We are literally creating the future. That's what that conference is. Yeah, that's what it's about. We are creating the future. We are moving people. This is what I've been doing the last 3 decades, moving people into the top 20% in the society. Practically every platform that I've been operating from has been about that. Daystar Christian Center, Success Power, Daystar Leadership Academy. It's moving people into the top 20%. Because according to the Pareto principle, 20% of the population controls 80% of the resources. And then, of course, once you get into that top 20%, then you can shift into the top 5% and then shift into the top 1%, sorry. Any country where I'm right now, I've got to be part of the top 1%, right? Then you have influence. Then you can make the world a better place. All right. The Shift Conference USA is holding on Saturday, the 13th of September, 2025, right? I'm excited to introduce the people that will be joining me to speak, my co-speakers at this conference. Yes, I invited some people to speak with me. The first person, a gentleman. Someone sent me a link to a video on YouTube sometime last year. Said, there's a gentleman here. He spoke at a university, in the US. Here in the US, the person is also in the US. The person said, while speaking to the university students and sharing his story, the gentleman mentioned your name. You need to watch this video. I watched the video. I was shocked when he told his life story, how I came to speak at a conference at his parents' church in Lagos, Nigeria, when he was 16. And he said his life changed from that point onwards. And he can never forget it. He said, the gentleman who spoke that day probably doesn't know who I am. He doesn't know where I am in the world, but his name is Pastor Sam Adeyemi, right? Anyway, long and short of it, he's an entrepreneur, built several businesses, right? He's currently CEO, founder and CEO of Harmony Lab Ventures. He was founder and CEO of Therapy Nest, a part of the Therapy brands, which he built and which was sold for $1.25 billion in 2021. The largest software startup exit in Alabama. Largest, right? In the Nigerian American. Today, he spends his time building new businesses, speaking, and he's particularly passionate about helping young startup entrepreneurs to build their businesses, in fact, to accelerate their growth. And he's coming to speak at the conference. He agreed to come speak at the Shift Leadership Conference. You got to listen to this gentleman. The other co-speaker is a lady. We call her the Queen of AI. She speaks all over the world, right? She's a certified artificial intelligence consultant. She's coming to speak to us on how to make shifts using AI. shifts in your business, shifts in your career, shifts in different areas of life. She speaks all over the world doing that for executives and professionals. It's phenomenal. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. You can't afford to miss this. Of course, yours truly will be there, right? Yours truly will be there. My passion is to see you become a major influencer, all right, as a leader, to build your influence and to use it. And I'll just pick a small aspect of the shift principles, right? Yeah. And I'll build on that and expand it. Promises to be powerful. Okay, so the general session will run from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then we'll have the VIP session, right? That's for C-level executives who register for the session. That'll be 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. That's where we'll have the Q&A. And the other speakers are joining me to form a panel, right? I'm going to first of all start with sharing some lessons on strategic leadership, and then they'll join me, and then we'll be able to answer questions for the people in the room. It will be powerful. In fact, it's powerful already. I can feel it. If you are anywhere in the USA, register right away and buy your ticket. If you need to buy a ticket or plan to do a road trip and make your way to Maryland. If you watch out on social media, very likely before the end of this week, I will be announcing scholarships. I'll be announcing scholarships for 50 college undergrads and high school students. Do you remember the story I just shared about one of our speakers, right? The gentleman from Alabama. He had me at the age of 16 and he has not forgotten, right? So we are always passionate about bringing young people into the room so we create the future, okay? At the Shift Lagos conference, we actually brought in 400 students and their teachers. It was a mix of students and teachers from 40 schools, okay? 50, we'll be providing 50 seats. Watch out for it. If you have a young person, in your home, college undergrads only, and high school students. We'll be checking the IDs at check-in, right? To be sure it's the right people that come into the room. Okay, 50 seats for that. And I'd like to say a big thank you to those that made it possible, our sponsors. So we have sponsorship partners for the Shift Conference USA, right? And that's making it possible for us to create this conference with excellence. That's one of our own core values, okay? So thank you. I then want to say this also to those of us that are leaders. If you're a leader in an organization, leader in a church or a business, don't come alone. It doesn't work that way. Don't come alone. When leaders attend conferences alone or read the book alone, when they try to execute, they meet with resistance. A lot of the time, their new visions fizzle out. So it's always good for you to come with 1, 2, 3 people. So we're providing discounts, right? So there is room for group registration. So when you go on the registration platform, you'll see the opportunity for group registration now, okay? With discounts. All right, good. So the queen of AI, her name is Alicia Little. Alicia Little. And we can't wait to hear her at the conference, and I can't wait to see you now. If you're not in the USA or Canada, if you're not close by, some people are asking, will it be streamed online? We're working on that. We're working on the possibility. If we get enough interest, indication of interest, then we can set up for that, right? It's got to be worth it. So we want to be sure. Would you be willing, or would you be interested in joining this conference? Right? It's our second and last Shift conference for this year. Would you be willing to join from anywhere around the world, let's know, and then we'll consider setting up for live streaming. Amazing, right? So register now, right away. Grab your seats now. For our sponsors, as you would see, or as you may have observed, we flash the logo of your organization on our advertising, right? We really appreciate your support. You are helping to make the world better. Where the head goes, that's where the rest of the body goes. In the business world, we say the fish rots from the head. Leadership is one of the biggest problems in our world right now, and you are helping us to solve this huge problem, right? Thank you. Okay, I'm seeing some people saying in the chat room that they would like to join the live stream. Okay. Let's see. I'll bring this to the attention of our team, and just watch out for more information on that. All right. When you hear the name, how can I be a sponsor? Oh, thank you. Thank you for asking how to be a sponsor. Send me an email, info@samadeyemiglc.com. info@samadeyemiglc.com. Just say, I'm interested in being a sponsor. And then we'll have a quick discussion with you on that. Thank you so much. I particularly, for the Shift Conference Lagos, I was blown away. People who've been listening to me for 10, 20, 30 years, who have achieved great success, they decided we're joining you, right, to make this happen. Some gave us billboards. There's 2 gentlemen partners gave us 5 of their most strategic billboards in Lagos, Nigeria. At the end of the day, we had 18 billboards. I think we won 18 billboards around the city, but we did not pay a dime for any of them. It was amazing, right? So thank you. info@samadeyemiglc, not samadeyemi.com. It's samadeyemiglc. info@samadeyemiglc.com. Say, I'm willing to be a sponsor. Kindly give me more information, and we'll get in touch with you as fast as possible. When you hear the name Abraham Lincoln, what comes to your mind? Have you heard of his famous story? Right? How he lost elections many times before eventually he won the presidency. But then his story of resilience is actually even more than that. First, he was born into a poor family, right? Thank you for all those indicating you'd like to join the Shift Conference online. Thank you. We'll definitely pick this up with our team, and you'll hear an announcement soon. Abraham Lincoln's mother died when he was young. His brother also died. He lost his mother and his brother when he was a child. Not only that, however, because of the poverty, it was difficult for him to get some good education. But in spite of that, he taught himself through school, pushed through, and eventually became a lawyer. Resilience, right? After he became a businessman, his business failed. He went bankrupt. And was owing so much money, it took him years to be able to clear the debt. And then another tragedy. His wife died. He lost his wife, right? And it was in the process of all this, he started contesting at the state level, at the federal level. He was losing election after election, losing election after election. And eventually he contested for the presidency and won. Wow. Okay, so this is the point that, oh, by the way, they said that he battled with depression for a long time, from when he was young, struggled with depression. Okay, so, and this person, one way or the other, eventually becomes the president of the United States of America. Because he did not give up, right? He did not give up. So this quality of resilience is a very, very important one. Resilience is simply ability to cope with adversity. Ability to cope with adversity. Let me say this. A lot of people think or just assume that successful people are successful because life is good for them or life is perfect for them. They don't have the problems that other people have. Assumption, right? That's why they say the grass always looks greener on the other side of the fence. Always looks green. It's amazing how we look at other people's lives and their lives always look perfect. It has always been there. But it's even worse now that we have social media where people can post photos or pictures and videos that have been edited. Photos and videos that have been filtered. People edit their problems out of their videos. People don't talk about their problems like that. Right? So you look at their lives look perfect. Their marriage looks perfect. Their family looks perfect. Their career looks perfect. Their business looks perfect. Right? It looks, put that in quotes, looks. Sadly, one of the major things that you can edit out of a video is time. Right? Yes. How long it really took to get that breakthrough. But I can speed up a video and in 30 seconds, a plant will grow from seed to full harvest, right? To the ripe stage, right? In 30 seconds. I just speed up the video. Sadly, you can't speed up life like that. Okay, so you need to be aware. Most of the people that you see that are very successful, they are there because they have weathered rough times, rough seasons. Yes. Resilience. Capacity to cope or ability to cope with adversity and to adapt to change. So it's not just that you are coping, it is that you also have the flexibility to adapt. They say when a strong wind blows, you see trees bend. And after some time, they stand up straight again. The ones that don't have the flexibility to bend, what happens? They break. So resilience includes that ability to adapt. When there is much, you enjoy it. When there is nothing, you manage the little that is there, but you stay alive, right? You stay alive because you know that life works in seasons and no season lasts forever. So when you have that capacity to cope with the adversity and you have that capacity to adapt, when things are rough, what then happens is you are able to move on to develop the ability to bounce back from setbacks. Yes. So resilience includes that too, the ability to bounce back. The ability to bounce back. The ability to bounce back. When a leader is resilient like that, the leader is a huge source of inspiration and motivation for whatever team they're leading. I said this before, I'll say it again. Quit the idea that people are expecting you to be perfect. Only immature people think so. And with time, they grow up and they change their thinking. You're a human being. You're a human like everybody else. So you can afford to be vulnerable. There's no need to pretend. We experience challenges too, right? What people want to see is how you deal with those challenges, how you deal with the rough times. I ran a seminar many years ago, and there was a gentleman who came, and it was profoundly life transforming for him. You know what got him? My stories about how I was refused visas. He was stunned, right? Thank you, Nelson. The greatest leader is not necessarily the one who does the greatest things. He is the one who gets people to do the greatest things. Thank you. And attitude is a big part of it. Attitude is a big part of it. If the leader gives up easily, the followers will give up easily. Okay, so how do I develop resilience? Because that's the big deal right now. You know, somebody drew my attention, my sister-in-law drew my attention some few months back to a documentary that she watched on the flight on trees. So when I flew that airline, European airline, I searched for that documentary. I can't remember the title off my head now, but it had to do with trees. I was profoundly inspired by the resilience of trees, especially given the fact that they do not have the power of movement like we do, we humans. They can't run away. They can't run from the rain, can't run from the wind, can't run from the hurricane. And the documentary described how scientists now are paying close attention to the trees, and they can read the history of the tree, right, by looking at its structure. Profound. I saw trees that, you know, the stem grew up a little bit and curved and then went up straight again. And they said it showed there was something disastrous. It was like maybe a hurricane or something, but it was a disastrous wind that practically wanted to push that tree down, and the tree grew up again. It's amazing. So I honestly, then I thought, wow. And some of those trees have been there for 200 years. Amazing. Resilience. So if you want to develop resilience, you know, so why does a leader need to have resilience? Because problems are predictable, challenges are predictable. This world is not a perfect place. You have to become comfortable with that. That's the fact. Our world is not a perfect place at all. What is more predictable in this life is change, disruption, challenges. So when a leader has that quality of resilience, the leader is able to handle adversity, to navigate adversity, to pass through, to not be stranded by adversity, but to pass through. I spoke at a conference, an international conference earlier in the year. And I was speaking on this point of adversity, dealing with adversity, and I shared with them some of my stories. Right? So I was talking about the young man who came to the seminar, had me talk about how I was refused visas at several embassies, right? While trying to travel out of Nigeria to Europe and to the US for the first time. At a particular embassy, maybe like 4 or 5 times, right? And then it wasn't only one embassy. The guy said he was so inspired because that was exactly his experience. He told himself, this guy understands what I'm talking about. This guy understands what I'm talking about. The amazing thing is that within 24 hours, his story changed. Yeah, within 24 hours, he had a remarkable story where a family member who was a diplomat in South Africa, called him or sent him a text message the next morning and told him to just go to the South African embassy in Lagos and to get a visa to come over to South Africa. He got to South Africa. Within 3 months, he had visited the UK and the US, gotten their visas without struggle. It's amazing, right? But the first thing was the inspiration, right? So as a person, when you have resilience, it helps you to, I'm going to take questions later. I'll tell you when I'm ready, and then you post the questions in the chat room, okay? In just a few minutes, Okay, so personally, having that quality of resilience helps you to be able to navigate adversity, to not give up. To not give up because things did not work out. Resilience expands your capacity to handle trouble, to catch fire, right? Without burning. Let me put it that way. So at the conference where I was speaking earlier this year, I told them about how I was stopped at one airport like that in Europe, and I was forced to return to Nigeria. I was not allowed to go into the country, and my 5-year visa was cancelled on the spot, right? One of those things. But of course, that was a long time ago now, right? Some 16 years old story, right? I visit that country now easily without any stress and so on. But it's just, right, part of the process. So ability to handle adversity, to navigate adversity. Secondly, you are able to inspire your team. You are able to inspire your team. You are able to inspire because when you set those big goals for whatever team you are leading, maybe your family, maybe your organization, maybe your department, and maybe a whole nation, when you set those big goals, the likelihood is you will face a lot of challenges in the process of achieving. Now, as a leader, if you can stay upbeat, you can stay positive, then that attitude of positivity will flow down through your team, right? And at the end of the day, what do you get? Success. Without that resilience, I don't see how success is going to happen. Without the capacity to handle adversity, to hold on in the face of trouble, then success is not possible, right? So you are able to get family success, to achieve organizational success, to achieve national success. You're able to inspire the people you lead to achieve success. Good. So you ask yourself, so how do I develop resilience? Number one, you're going to have a clear long-term vision. So you can't just be setting short-term goals, daily goals or weekly goals. You got to have a vision. A vision is a picture, right? That is inspired by a strong mission or a strong purpose. You got to have a strong why. It's like Simon Sinek would say, a strong reason. There has to be a serious problem that you want to solve, that you are willing to sacrifice your life, to invest your life to solve, right? Those are the things that will keep you going. So when you face adversity, then you ask yourself, it's like, I want to see nations, especially in the developing part of the world, I want to see nations develop economically. And I know leadership is a big part of the issue, right? That's why I'm carrying the leadership thing on my head. So when I want to feel like, oh, maybe I should know, what am I even looking for? My first training was in civil engineering. And then I went for my master's in leadership. After I caught the leadership bug, right? I struggled because I was already married. I had children. I was running organizations. I was busy. So my supervisor had to say, wait, Sam, why do you submit your assignment around 2 a.m. or 3 a.m.? Don't you sleep? I said, I'm running a full life. The other place where my struggle showed up from was civil engineering is natural science. Leadership is social science. They're two different things. I was struggling. In civil engineering, 4 feet is 4 feet. It doesn't change. The social engineering side, everybody has a mind of their own, right? And they can change their mind at any time. So sometimes I'll be doing those assignments. I will ask myself, wait, why exactly am I doing this master's program, right? Why am I running this master's program? Okay. What am I looking for? Is it that I'll use the certificate to look for a job? That's when I was getting frustrated. And then when I calm down, I'll remind myself, it's a big leadership problem in Nigeria, in Africa. In fact, in the whole world. No, I'm not going to leave this world without making a dent on the problem. Then I'll take the books again. By the time I managed to complete my master's program, I said, that's it. And my ultimate vision was, in terms of education, was to do it up to the doctoral level. So, this one is enough. It's okay. After I'd rested for was it 2 years or so, 1 or 2 years, maybe 1 year. The vision came back. Right? I put in, excuse me, I put in for my doctoral program. Yeah. And started again. Right? So your long-term vision. A vision is a picture, right? A vision is a picture. So ultimately, I see myself assisting, supporting presidents, governors, right? Founders and CEOs of all kinds of organizations, business, non-profit, but people who have influence, people who are shaping the world, right? So it's a picture, right? It's a picture. So the starting point is the mission, is what bothers you. What's the problem you feel like solving? What have you been through personally? Because usually that's a pointer to the problem you're supposed to solve. Have you had any health challenges, right? Did you have to deal with poverty somewhere along the line, and so on? Have you had to deal with any kind of injustice along the line? So it is from that passion that you then just look 10, 20, 30, 40 years ahead. Sometimes, if possible, beyond your lifetime. That's where you get the picture from, okay? Good. So you need to have a long-term vision. Secondly, you need to have self-awareness. That's something we spoke about before. If you check our videos on Sam Adeyemi TV on YouTube, Sam Adeyemi TV, then you'll be able to watch the past editions. There was one, The Qualities of a Leader, this series, self-awareness. Know your strengths, right? Run your personality test, your temperament test, and so on. Know your area of genius. Know your superpower. Okay? Because that helps. You usually get extraordinary results when you work in the area of your superpower. So you are able to overcome adversity a lot better. When you are going through difficult times, you have to learn to drop weights. When your life is in danger, you don't carry a heavy box on your head. So whatever it is you're doing that is not in perfect alignment with that superpower, you drop them. You focus on that area where you are gifted, where you're a genius, you you easily come out of adversity better that way, right? So, and then you also then know your weaknesses, right? You are in touch with your emotions, and you know how they affect other people. You know how you feel when you are stressed, right? And you don't want to burn out. You know your limits. And then you can define your boundaries and know when to say no, right? Good. So one other thing that will help you to develop resilience is communication matters. Communication matters. Communication matters, right? So not only should you have that vision, you need to be able to share it with other people. And that takes me to the next point, a strong network, a strong personal network. When you have a big vision that you are chasing, you can't afford to hang around people with small vision, because they won't even see the point in the sacrifices that you are making, in what you are chasing. They can't understand what is driving you. So they will discourage you. Once you run into some small challenge, they will discourage you to see it to be, you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? What's the point? Right? So you need mentors, right? People who have already achieved what you're trying to achieve. You'll be their inspirational power can be phenomenal, right? When they let you know there's something, nothing extraordinary happening to you. They've been through it before and they share their own stories with you, right? So you need a strong personal network, mentor, spouse, friends, right? People whose values align with yours and who have visions that are similar to yours. Okay. Let me add one thing, because we don't have all the time, and I'll take a few questions so we can go. It's night for some of us. Learning. You have to keep eating, and food for your soul is information, right? You got to keep reading, keep learning, keep reading. Read other people's stories, read biographies, right? Read other people's stories, read biographies. They will strengthen you. Just when you are beginning to think that your problem is so peculiar, nobody has had the kind of problems that you're having now. When you read other books, you'll be surprised. Somebody had that problem in 1934 and they surmounted it, right? So a strong network. You need a strong network around you. You need to learn non-stop, be a lifelong learner. And I could go on and on, but where I want to land today is you need to practice self-care. Take care of yourself. Okay, know your limits, like we said. Self-awareness is important, but then take care of yourself. Nurture yourself. Your resources are not infinite. You are not God. If you pretend like you are God, you will soon find out you are not. Okay? Yeah. Know your limits. Take a break. One day at least out of the 7 days in the week. Let your view of success be a balanced one. It can't just be only about money and career. If you lose your health in the process, what have you gained? If you lose your relationships in the process, what have you gained, right? So let it be with a balance. Know yourself. Know what feeds you, what brings you peace, what brings you joy, right? Practice self-care. Take care of yourself and plan to be around for a long time so you can be around to see your dreams come true. Is that okay? All right. Thank you, everyone. Like I said, the next several weeks are super exciting for us in our community because September 13, all roads lead to the College Park Marriott, Hyattsville, Maryland, where we're having the Shift Leadership Conference USA 2025. Register right away. But I encourage you to do group registration, right? If you are in the USA or you're in Canada, book your ticket, fly down. It's absolutely worth it. Oh, no. It's not whether the conference is worth it or not. How do you measure that? How do you measure the impact? No. It is whether you think your destiny deserves that much investment. That's it. That's it. I spend tens of thousands of dollars, on coaching and learning every year. You know what I was reading during my break? Sometime in July, I saw a book online by one of my best authors in recent times. And then I saw the book was not even out yet. I pre-ordered it. So it came just before I went on break. I took it along. I finished it. Now I'm starting all over. The science of scaling, right? Grow your business bigger and faster than you think possible. I feed myself, right? Practice self-care. Take a break. Take time to reflect, right? Feed yourself, invest. Anyway, so register for yourself and for your team. If you are not in the USA, but you know someone in the USA, you can actually just register for them, right? Just register. You just need their name and email. Register for them and send them the link. You send them the receipt, right, by email. Or at least please reach out to someone and tell them they need to attend, okay? Thank you. Yes, thank you, Dr. Marie. Thank you. Absolutely my pleasure. I love to share the best with my community, okay? The next, shift-conference.com. Shift, no S, right? Yes, Dr. Marie. I'm in the USA, and this is live. So shift-conference.com. That's where to register for the Shift Conference. Exactly 1 week after the Shift Conference, we'll be in Calgary, Canada, for what we call the BLA. The BLA. New York. I love New York, right? My wife and I ran some conferences in New York several years back, 2017 or so, 2016, 2017. Anyway, we'll be back. We'll be back. Just a matter of time. BLA, Business and Leadership Accelerator Roundtable. That's what we're doing at Calgary, Canada, on Saturday, September 20. To my friends in Canada, God bless you, especially the people in Calgary and in surrounding cities like Edmonton and Winnipeg and Regina, Saskatchewan. You guys have been amazing. The registration has been fantastic, and we have only few seats left. I can't wait. It's only 20 to 25 people in the room. Yes, only 20 to 25 people in the room. It's growth, exponential growth that we're talking about. I've experienced it. I understand a lot about how it works. And I'm expecting 1 year of amazing testimonials from after we run the program. So if you are in Calgary, you can find your way to Calgary, I think you should book. Right away, grab one of the few seats left. We'll do that whole day together. Okay? The whole of that Saturday, 20th. And then October 6 to 9, we'll be in Dubai. UAE, C-suite leadership retreat, right? For people in the C-suite. The networking potential of the VIP session at the Shift Conference in Maryland, at the BLA in Calgary, and then at the C-suite leadership retreat in Dubai, the network potential is phenomenal. And our attendees say that's where they make their monies back because of the relationship that they built. So if you are looking for the shortcut, thank you. Jacob is asking, will there be a Shift Conference in the UK anytime soon? We're thinking about it, right? We're working on it because we've gotten quite a bit of requests. Earlier this week, we got a request over the weekend from Qatar. Someone was asking, can you come over? He's also a leadership coach. Can you come over to Qatar and host the Shift Leadership Conference? I said, oh, sure. Okay. Amazing. Yes. Shift-conference.com. That is where we're registering now. Remember what I said? We're offering scholarships to 50 college undergrads and high school students. Right? Good. 50. They're coming in fully subsidized. They won't pay nothing. Courtesy of our sponsors, right? Oh, yes. So the tickets are on 3 levels. The tickets are on 3 levels for the Shift conference. So you have the general admission. That's where everybody will attend 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Then you have what we call the founder's ticket. Now, the founder's ticket is for the general session, where you are guaranteed front seats, 1, 2, a meet and greet with me before the event starts in the morning. Okay? Yes. That meet and greet, right, like a breakfast meet and greet, is for the people who register for the VIP session. However, if you get the founder's ticket, then you can come in. We'll bring you in, then you'll be able to interact with the people attending the VIP session. That's massive value there for networking, right? And then we'll go into the session, start the general session, then we'll have a short break and then move into the VIP session. The VIP session starts with lunch. That's part of the package for people in the VIP sessions. All right. Thank you. So register now. Shift, no S, it's not plural, it's singular. Shift-conference.com. Remember, if you're a leader, do group registration. Bring other people in. If you're a pastor, bring your workers in. Bring your leaders in. This is transformational. Absolutely. Right? Awesome. So if you have a question for me, please type it in the chat room now. And I'll take a few questions before we go. I know some of us need to go sleep. If you're in Australia, I know you're in the next day, you're in Tuesday already. Thank you. Right? Yeah. Your capacity to transform the world is growing, changing exponentially as you attend this conference. Let me take this question. As a youth with pastoral potential, I believe God has called me to manage a new company and opportunities available. How can I balance spiritual pursuits with administrative responsibilities? Okay. Yemi, thank you for asking. Can they still apply for scholarships? Actually, we've not even opened up the platform for applying yet. We'll do that in the course of this week, and we'll shoot out emails and we'll put it on social media, right? So please watch out on my social media platforms. In the course of this week, we'll put out the announcement, and then people can apply, right, for the scholarships, college undergrads and high school students. Thank you for asking. Yeah, so how do you run your company and at the same time run your ministry? Good question, right? So at the end of the day, it's about how you manage time. You've got to consider your time as your most valuable resource in this world. Business people say time is money, which is true. Actually, time is even more than that. So I ask, if you took time out of your life so far, what will be left? Nothing, actually. Yeah, time is life. So treat it as a resource and just know that you will give some of the time to ministry work. You will give some of the time to business. I would recommend you don't start up both at the same time, right? Starting any venture can be tasking. Your goal has to be that you want to build systems and to be able to delegate to other people as fast as possible. That's got to be your goal from scratch. You will need to build systems and to train people and delegate to them. Once other people can take the load off you, then you only do strategic work, right? The thinking and networks and exploring opportunities for the organization. So you will do more strategic work. You'll get other people to do the operations. That's the way out, sir. That's how you'll be able to make the best use of your time. But startup will need your attention. Startup needs attention, and you need to invest as much as you can. Okay, as much attention, as much effort during the takeoff time. Have you been in an aircraft before? They turn off the lights, they shut down everything, so all the power can go into the engines for the takeoff, and you can feel the power when it's taking off, and then it's smoother after it has gone into the air. Yep. So startup will require your full attention, your effort, but what you need to run towards very quickly is for you to have other people you can delegate to. Okay. And that will free you to do more strategic work. Then you run meetings, you read reports, you identify what is working, what is not working, what is going up, what is coming down, what needs to be addressed, and what you need to maximize, right? Or optimize. Good. I hope that helps. How can I register for the BLA happening at Calgary? I think that's BLA. Yeah, we'll display it in a second, right? Our team will display it in a second. bla.samadeyemi.com/live. bla.samadeyemi.com//live. Good. Or just go to my bio on any of my social media platforms. Click on the link tree there. You will see a link, only one link in my bio on social media. Click on it to take you to my link tree. Then you can click on anything you want to click on there and do what you want to do. Thank you. Good question. Through your teachings, I have discovered that I'm a leader and need to build. Let me see. Yeah, I know some of us need to go sleep, right? Okay, just a few more minutes, just a few more. Through your teachings, I have discovered that I'm a leader and need to build leadership skills. Which books should I purchase? Very good question. The first one is this book. It's titled Shifts: 6 Steps to Transform Your Mindset and Elevate Your Leadership. It's available on Amazon, Porchlight, all the major online retailers in the world, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, Target, and so on. If you are in Nigeria, then you can get it from Family First Bookshop. It's located on the premises of Daystar Christian Center, Oregun, Ikeja, Lagos, or from Roving Heights Bookshop. They have bookshops around Nigeria, and they deliver all over Nigeria also. So you can just check them on Instagram at Roving Heights. So you ask about which books you should read. I have another one for you, also available online and everywhere. I mentioned Lead: Proven Principles to Multiply Your Success at Any Level, right? Good. And then I'll advise, go on YouTube and just type Sam Adeyemi Leadership. Yeah, you have hours and hours there of study materials. That's how it works. Okay. Let me see. Did I skip one? Oh, thank you, Dr. Mary. Thank you for the compliments. I appreciate it. Right. Okay. She says, I work with Rwanda Orphans in Kigali. Are you planning to make the material from the conference available online so I can share it with orphans I support who will not be able to attend in person? Well, I would say we have a lot of free materials. Because this is paid for, it's a paid conference, then we don't put it on YouTube like that or on social media like that. We only just cut clips. However, we have a lot of materials on YouTube, Sam Adeyemi TV on YouTube, that you can definitely share with our young friends. AY is asking, from your experience, how do you deal with situations where people doubt you or what you're saying? How did you prevent the doubt people were projecting towards you from infecting your confidence? This is a very good question. This is a very good question. Listen, I'm a pioneer, right? So I start new things. I get ideas and I start new things. When I was going on radio, I did not even know anyone personally who had run or was running a radio broadcast, right? But I went ahead of the thing. So when you are that kind of person, when you're a visionary, and every leader needs to be a visionary, right? Then you will have people who don't understand what you're doing, who don't understand what you're talking about, who will think that you're unreasonable, who will think you're crazy, right? How do you protect your dream? And how do you protect your heart? Stay away from them. Honestly, you don't need people that will discourage you at those early times. You need a lot of wisdom, of course. And so get that from mentors who will not be intimidated by what you're saying. Because sometimes the problem is what you're saying is stretching people's minds. Some people are finding it difficult to even accommodate what you're saying. It's giving them stress, right? Good. So you be careful who you talk to. Be sure people have capacity before you download on them. Yeah, that's why Jesus Christ said, you don't pour new wine into old wineskins, right? He said the new wine would burst the wineskins. So I don't like to give people stress, right? People who have capacity for vision. And sometimes you won't know, of course, until you start speaking. But once you notice they're struggling, then limit the pressure on them and then know the people you talk to. I had to stay away from some people like that. I had things that hurt. 30 years ago, I had things that hurt. And I told myself, this was a wrong meeting. This was a wrong meeting. I'm not talking to this person again for a long time. I don't need this now, right? So, and then you need, again, that strong personal network, right? Some people call it a mastermind. There's just got to be people you can go talk to, okay? Yes, keep some distance. Love people, but in terms of sharing your your dreams, be circumspect, right? Okay, just one or two more and we'll be done for the day. In some 3 minutes, right? As someone who is quite ambitious and loves to achieve a lot, how do I bring myself down to balance rest? Right, to achieve a balance. So how did it work for me? One, my wife. I did not grow up from a family that had the culture of going on vacation, traveling to different countries. Oh no, sorry. At the time we got married, I think I'd visited one country outside Nigeria. But my wife, she had been going on vacation, you know. So the first December, first Christmas, after we got married, she said, we need to find somewhere to go outside of Lagos where we were living. She said, we need to find somewhere to go. I said, like where? She said, oh, our whole university, there was a conference center, hotel and conference center there, and it was low priced. I said, okay, that makes sense. Let's go. I struggled to make that trip. But once we got there, I was amazed at how refreshing it was. Okay. So that's how we got to build a culture of vacationing together. Secondly, reading. Interestingly, that first trip that we took outside of our city, I took a book along. It was 3 books in one. Sorry, it's been a long time now, so I can't remember the title, but there were 3 titles combined in that book. One of them had to do with getting the reading, the correct reading in life. I ran a self-assessment there to check whether you're a workaholic or not. I passed successfully as a workaholic, not alcoholic, sorry, a workaholic. I passed successfully as a workaholic. I was shocked at myself, right? So that scared me, and that got me to begin to adjust. The mentorship also is very important there. And then a little bit of practice. So you need to associate with people that value rest. Okay, you need to have mentors that will talk to you, to take care of yourself. And I have some like that. Okay. Last one. Please bear with me. Last one. What's the best advice when leading women to ensure they are empowered for the long haul? Lovely. See, women leadership is a bit different from men leadership, or being a leader as a woman is a bit different from being a leader as a man. Our designs are even different in the first place. See, men are designed for long range, tunnel vision, right? Women are designed to master details, master the environment. That's why we say women are able to multitask, right? So women have so many parts to their lives. So you women have so many parts to your lives that can easily, distract from building a career and all that. You get married, and then you need to have kids and all that. And those things seem to create setbacks in the woman's journey. I put the setbacks in quotes because when you're having your babies, that's not a setback. You're changing the world, right? So one of the major things I encourage for women is autonomy, right? You want to have the freedom to invest your time as best as you want. So if you can do entrepreneurship, if you can become an entrepreneur or structure your work in a way that you can do freelance work, right? That would be powerful. Then you can get the best of both worlds. So in other words, your career can continue, right? While you're building family or attending to other areas of your life. I've seen some women find tremendous freedom in entrepreneurship. Another thing that is very important is marriage, spousal support, especially if you then happen to be the ambitious type, right? You happen to be a visionary. Then it's important that you marry someone that is very understanding, who agrees, both of you understand each other's vision. You both agree to support each other, to give the freedom to that way you can be able to share the responsibilities and duties as they are required. Because if you are the type that is career oriented and you are heading for the CEO position, you definitely need a lot of support from home, right? And then from the larger family, so to speak. Yeah. So that is what I would encourage, that you develop a plan for managing those things that tend to derail a woman from maintaining her career on the long haul. I hope that helps. Thank you everyone for joining us today on this Leadership Live. I hope it's been helpful. Wow, I didn't think it would take this long, but you guys are amazing. The questions you asked are just so brilliant. A big thank you once again to our sponsors for the Shift Leadership Conference, Maryland, USA, coming up on September 13. You really are helping us to change the world, and really appreciate that. And if you want to find out about how to be a sponsor, shoot me an email, info@samadeyemiglc.com, info@samadeyemiglc.com. If you have inquiries about registration, for any of our events, if you're having any hiccup or problems, reach out to us. Register for the Shift Conference Lagos, the BLA Roundtable in Calgary, the C-Suite Retreat in Dubai, October 6 to 9. Thank you everyone for joining us this evening from our team here. I wish you a restful night. If it's morning already at your end, a beautiful morning, and a very prosperous week. Bye for now. That point where you make up your mind is where your life changes. That's where a poor man becomes a rich man. That's it. That's where failure changes to success. It is your decision, not your condition, that determines your destiny. Whatever you are seeing and hearing, I promise you will not live your life the same. Leadership is not a day's job, it's a daily job. It takes time to change the mindset. The human mind functions like a camera, and any image that is established on the film or memory card is what is printed out for you on the postcard. Whatever picture it finds in your heart and mind is what it prints out for you in real life.